So what I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the trailer dropped today. We got our first look into Season 6. I've already got a good idea of the 3 weapons we're going to be seeing that season. We also have a look at another operator besides Mason. We also have more information on the last stage of Cold War Zombies. You know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. I am so excited about this. Let's do this. So how is it going, Dank Division? Dank Dan here, and we are going to be discussing everything that we saw today in regards to Season 6. Now, before I even begin discussing it, rather than having you just sit there, let the cutscene play for the Season 6 intro so that you guys know what I'm talking about. Let's let that play out.
Focus. Try to remember. You can stop all this now. 2 years. We're running out of time. You've been off grid since Algeria. What was you doing in Verdansk?
You always find me the best toys.
You can defuse it.
Stadium search team. We found more devices.
Kill it. Signal could set this off. Of course. Seismic charge. Primary rig to blow secondaries in the borehole. Sophisticated. Very nasty. This has CIA written all over it.
I know who did this.
Tough son of a bitch won't talk. Let's start the real work.
I did what you cowards wouldn't. This is Operation in Verdansk. Has to be destroyed. Get me out of this chair.
First, we're gonna fix you. Trust me. This is gonna hurt. 16, 23, 8, 14, 18, 11.
Adler, we have unfinished business.
Got reports of multiple explosions in Verdansk. Sounds like our boy did a number on the place. Get him up. We need to go.
Oh God, what have I done? Shake it off. It wasn't you. We're gonna finish what you started.
We've got a job to do.
So after watching that epic cutscene, why don't we talk about everything, going in exact order of everything that is revealed right off the bat. So starting with the very first thing we see is reminiscent of the classic Black Ops 1 opening. But in this case, instead of Mason sitting in the chair strapped down, it's Adler. And just like with Mason, you have it that Hudson is sitting with his voice distorted, asking someone a bunch of questions and hoping for an answer while having someone at his side, this time, of course, being Mason. So we then cut to nice Verdansk. Underneath, actually, in which case we see Stitch and we see a new operator who is missing a leg. I've kind of already started to nickname him German Lieutenant Dan because he's missing a leg. But what's intriguing is that my conspiracy theorist Layla threw something my way that makes way too much fucking sense. So when we were trying to figure out as much as we could about this operator, there are three key things to think about. One, judging by the accent and just overall facial features, German. Second thing is he appears to be an expert in regards to bombs. 3, this is the 1980s. For those of you who are a history nut, it should have hit you by now. For people who aren't history nuts, and even those who are history nuts, this one might have gone right over your head. 3 words that my conspiracy theorist said to me, and when I did research on this, I'll leave a link below so you can read up on this and tell me if this makes sense. 3 words. Red Army faction. It fits all too fucking well because this group is pretty much a terrorist group that was attacking Germany from the 60s all the way up until pretty much the fall of the Berlin Wall. Was notorious for their numerous, and I mean numerous, bombings. These guys were experts in bombs. So it would make a lot of sense for Stitch to pretty much recruit a bombs expert to start defusing the bombs. What's also intriguing is that before this guy tells Stitch to mute his nice little mic, which is kind of hilarious, you overhear someone saying that there are more bombs, meaning that no matter what Stitch does, the most that can be done is having this one bomb get defused. So as we go back to Adler, who pretty much is looking like an idiot saying, I did what I had to do. Wow. Your plan was to bomb an entire city to kill one man. How American of you. It's pretty much at this point that Mason has had fucking enough, walks right in there like a goddamn boss, stares Adler in the face and does the one thing I never, ever in all my years expected Mason to do. Looks Adler right in the eyes and starts saying the numbers. I never thought I'd see the day that the person we all saw brainwashed in Black Ops 1 and still had some of the effects of the brainwash in Black Ops 2 could look someone dead in the eye and break their brainwash. I mean, if anyone, it was only going to be Mason. What we then cut back to is the nice little bomb diffuser and Stitch working on the bomb, and with 2 seconds left, the bomb gets defused. There's just one problem. You remember how I said earlier there was more than one. Well, ladies and gentlemen, fuck the snipers that like to camp in downtown, and fuck half of you that like to hide in the goddamn stadium. Because that shit got leveled. When you watch this cutscene over and over again, who knows how much of Verdansk is going to be literally buried into the ground. We already know that the Gulag is definitely going to survive the prison, because it makes it into the Modern Warfare variation of the map. Just like some bits and pieces are still standing here, there, and everywhere across Verdansk, but a lot of the key buildings aren't there anymore, so what we'll be walking into for Warzone come update time, your guess is as good as mine. So after that, we come back, in which case someone snaps their fingers right in front of Adler, wakes his stupid ass up, and I gotta hand it to Bruce Thomas that "what have I done" line, beautifully, beautifully delivered. In which case, Hudson tells him we've got a job. Oh god, I hate that line. We have a job to do. But then we get this nice shot of all 4 characters walking into the destroyed Verdansk, 3 of which are holding new weapons. And we're going to go from left to right discussing them, starting of course with the SMG in Woods' hand. And this one's an intriguing one because it is a prototype weapon that I guarantee none of you have ever heard of before. And that of course is the LAPA SM-03. Now, what is intriguing about this little bad boy is where it comes from. Brazil. It's designed from 1975 to 1978. Guess how many were built? 1. So I would love to know who Woods had to kill, beat up, or pay off to be holding the only copy of that weapon. Now, for those of you who want to kind of get an idea of the real-life specs of this weapon, we're talking about 9mm rounds in a 30-round mag that fires at roughly 500 rounds per minute, and people are probably sitting there going, well, what makes this Brazilian prototype viable? I'll tell you. So, most of the guns that we've already seen in Cold War have been pretty fast moving, but most of them are made of a heavier metal. This weapon, what makes it different from the rest? This thing's entirely synthetic. Every piece of it is nothing but synthetic material. Therefore, this weapon is made lightweight and handy, meaning if this is going to transfer over correctly to Warzone and to Cold War, we're looking at a gun that may be faster to move than the MAC-10, with maybe the chance to put a lot of people in the ground. God help us, especially if you start going no stock and no this and make everything for the mobility. I dare say we could be in for all kinds of hell. Now, a lot of people are looking at the gun that Adler has. Some people should recognize it right off the bat. A lot of people are just saying, that's a lever-action shotgun. That's not any lever-action shotgun, ladies and gentlemen. That look is too iconic to miss. That is a Henry lever-action shotgun. How is it that you can easily pick it off? Look up the Henry lever-action shotgun and just start looking at the details. The stock, everything. It fits all too beautifully. Now, why is this weapon so intriguing is the fact that it's a lever action and the fact that just the range of a Henry lever action shotgun, this thing is made to hit far. That probably means that it's going to sacrifice the ADS in favor of you having that little bit of range. And the variation that we do see on Adler's version has a shorter stock than other versions, so we'll probably see various versions of stocks. Maybe we'll even see a sawed-off version. I do not know. I don't even know how many mags they're going to throw in, or if they'll throw in extended mags. That will be up to the people making the game. The last gun is the one in Mason's hand. Come on, guys. Say it with me. What does it look like? Come on, look at the stock. Look at that curved mag. You don't recognize that gun. Come on. That looks an awful lot like a fan favorite weapon. Just like that's a fan favorite operator saved till the last second. That looks like the Galil. God help us all. If any of you were around in the heyday of Black Ops 1 when the Galil came out on day 1, oh boy. If this weapon is anything like it was back in its heyday, if this actually is the Galil, we are in for hell. Because this will probably end up being the meta on day 1 if they don't know how to properly balance this thing, because the damage, the rate of fire, the recoil makes the Krig look like a bitch. Dear Lord, honestly, everything in this trailer looks absolutely amazing, and all of that is pretty much coming on the 7th. But let's face it, there are some of you here who really don't give a shit about what's happening in Warzone and don't really care about multiplayer. You care about the guns, you definitely care about the operator, but you care about it for a completely different reason, and that, of course, is zombies. Let's talk now about what we'll be seeing in regards to zombies. So finally, we see how the Cold War chapter of the Dark Ether story ends. So unlike with Firebase Z and Mauer where we had to wait, we're not waiting any longer than day 1 of Season 6. The final round-based map is dropping on day 1 of Season 6, and we have a name. Forsaken. And just looking at the logo for this thing screams, all hell will break loose. God help those who dare to go into this Easter egg. And it's going to be epic, because this is the ultimate showdown between Requiem and Omega. God help us all, because as we already are aware from the intel that we've been gathering from Season 5, Requiem's director, who everyone and their mother believes is Eddie, has plans for Samantha Maxis, has already been pretty much using unorthodox methods to quote-unquote help her understand her powers that she has developed from her time in the Dark Ether. What's also entertaining is that this is going to lead to Requiem and Omega continuing to have a pissing contest upon figuring out who's going to get their hands on Zykov first, who's still trapped in the Dark Ether. A lot of people believe that this quote-unquote lost Russian who closed the portal at Project End Station is going to be the key to preventing the destructive force known as the Forsaken from entering our world. It's also worth noting that the Onslaught intel talks about how Zykov keeps trying to lure people into the Dark Ether. If that doesn't scream, this is a fucking trap, Zykov isn't what he seems, and odds are he's the fucking Forsaken, I don't know what does. What's better yet is the best way that I describe the Forsaken is, I dare say it, I compare him to Sauron from Lord of the Rings. A great deceiver of great power, trying to lay claim to the entire world and having it that it's very simple. Either you fall down on your knees and appease him and pray to him like he's a goddamn god and worship him, or you die at his hand. Honestly, the comparison, a little too accurate. So one of the other things that is worth noting is that Ravenov, while he has already been found out as the defector, was able to still provide Requiem with intelligence detailing a massive ethereal portal being constructed in western Ukraine. That's probably why you're wondering, why am I playing a campaign mission in the background? That's actually the location that makes the most sense for the next round-based map. So it's already worth noting that Treyarch has already confirmed on Twitter that in the coming days we are going to be getting more information on the map Forsaken, including when we get official Season 6 gameplay trailer footage, as well as more teasers throughout the coming days. But let's talk about the very last image that we see, and that is this. Now we all know what this image means. That, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Wonder Weapon. I'm gonna fucking butcher the pronunciation. Fuck it, I'm not even gonna begin to pronounce it. Pretty much what looks like an axe made completely out of ether crystal, and what also looks like some form of a gun, again made completely out of ether crystals. And what's entertaining is that there's a note to Carver from Strauss saying, Carver, one of our teams recovered this from the Dark Ether and seems to be a schematic for an ancient weapon. Looks like you'll get your wish for an authentic Dark Ether weapon after all. Signed, Strauss. I'm getting major, like, Stormbreaker. This is a god's weapon. Or should I say, this is a god killer weapon. God help us all. How many times can I say God in a single minute? Let's find out. But with that being said, that is pretty much all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video. Leave a comment down below. How excited are you for Season 6 of Cold War? What's the first thing you're going to play when Day 1 drops? Are you going to be hopping into Warzone to see what kind of hell happens? Are you going to be dropping into multiplayer when you find out what maps are going to be dropping? Where are you going to level up your guns? Are you going to be hopping right into the Forsaken and complete the Easter egg right off the bat? Who's your squad going to be? Are you excited to see how this all concludes? Not just the zombie storyline, but the main storyline as well. So don't forget to click that subscribe button. Again, leave a comment down below because I love the conversations that we have. Don't forget to follow us on our social media pages. And as always, I want you guys to remember this and don't ever forget it. You guys are the meta. And I'm Dank Dan, signing off.
Get them to hit that subscribe button, Dank. It's the only way we can figure out the numbers.
15.
What do the numbers mean, Dank? We're wasting valuable time.